Hey everybody, welcome to Ludington, Michigan. My name is Josh the RV Nerd, this is Bish's RV, and that is the 189 Palomino Lite. I think these used to be called Palomini if I'm not mistaken. This is a family bunkhouse model. You have two individual single bunks, but this is not like a flip-up cargo bunkhouse, which some people have kind of security concerns for. Instead, you still have a really big cargo compartment, but underneath the bunks. Wait till we take a better look at that. What they did here is they gave us a way that you could sleep anywhere from, say, 3 to 5 people in this thing in a single axle under 5,000 pounds with a sofa and a dinette. That is a hard series of qualities to smash all into one little box here, and frankly, I'm pretty impressed with how they managed to pull it off. One of the other cool things with this, it has a 7.5 foot wide body, which allows them to have a 60 by 80 true queen bed, albeit a bendy bed, but the fact is, it's a true queen in here, which is kind of cool. This is an Asdel using brand. It has an enclosed underbelly, which is another thing that's a little less common to find in single axles, and I absolutely love the, like, 3/4 stone guard spray-on bed liner thing that they have going on the nose of these. It just gives it, like, I feel like if I'm going to take, I grew up on a dirt road, let me put it that way. And we had horse trailers growing up, and the front of those things looked like Woody Woodpecker went all over those things and just popped holes in it left, right, and center. Well, you don't have that problem here, not near as bad anyway. There's all kinds of different options you can put on this, like there's a little more like off-pavement solar package called the Badlands Edition you can get. It's got a bigger tire package and a torsion axle suspension system on here. So, you know, it's a little bit more of a pavement princess in its base form, but if you want to get it off pavement and get a little bit dirty, well, you can do that too. Let me know what you think about this one, and if you appreciate how we're sharing the good with the bad as we go, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Let us know we're doing the right thing by treating you fair.
And you folks can't tell this, but woo, baby, it is a hot one today. This is a warm little box, although it also has kind of a very warm and welcoming feel. Now, it is neutral upon neutral in terms of the color palette, but that also means that if you want to add some things with some color, like a blanket or some pillows or a bedspread or something, it kind of really comes to life. So just kind of giving you the lay of the land here. You already saw our floor plan in a flash in the beginning. Sitting over in the dinette, this is what we're looking at right here. Now that TV can pivot around. We'll get to see that in a few minutes here. But notice the window coverage on this, and they all open for airflow with the exception of the full window in the entry door, but at least that has the shade in it from the factory, which I think is awful darn cool. I'm going to keep on rotating this way here. We're going to do ourselves about a 720 in today's video. We're going to do us a couple 360s. So before I start opening up everything, you have an idea of how this thing looks right here. Now, a couple quick notes for you in the kitchen. That is a farm sink. There is a gas electric two-way refrigerator and freezer option. That's a 12 volt that we're looking at. That is a standard microwave. I don't believe there are any options nor allowances in this one for a convection microwave or a propane oven. So kind of keep that in mind right here. This dinette is a little bit of a step-up slide, but these are the kind of dinette posts that actually twist lock into place. So if you really have to, like, you know, push down on that, you don't, you know, the weebles might wobble, but they won't fall down. I guess that's what I'm saying. The table's not going to fall out of the slide, and it's nice and sturdy, so if you have to push yourself up with it, you can. Again, we're a 7.5 foot wide body, and we're 6.5 foot tall, so it's like standard size-ish, but that does mean it weighs a little bit more. Kind of like a J-Feather Micro in that regard. On our way up here, we've got a 13,500 BTU. It is non-centralized, but this is mostly a one-room RV. I think it'll probably be just fine. I'd love some people with experience in that to kind of share that nugget of wisdom with us. And right here, you're going to see one of these also above the front sofa and one in the bathroom. That is a little, basically, vent fan. So there's actually multiple 12-volt ceiling vent fans in this thing. Multiple smaller fans that will help keep turbulence reduced and, you know, give you a little bit more of a comfortable experience. Now, let's start cracking this sucker open like an egg and folding it like an omelet, because that is a Murphy bed. But first, taking a look at the storage down below the sofa there, and of course the storage above. This model, one of its only Achilles heels, it truly has very limited total storage capacity for like personal clothing and whatnot. Now, giving you, by the way, the Murphy bed footage that we're looking at here, this is in wide angle view. I just want that to be clear to everybody. But I want you to get to see how it kind of works, because there's these little removable armrest bolsters in there. And that is an 80-inch long Murphy bed with 30 by 30 folding sectional panels. So it's a 60 by 80 true queen size, but it is a form of a Murphy bed. So keep that in mind. Now, I haven't checked it yet, but if this is like the other Palomino Real-Lite, what that's going to mean is that you cannot use this Murphy bed in transit and road mode, but we're going to verify that here in just a few minutes. At this point, I think we've kind of covered all this. I think we've covered this well. I'm all out of my routine today. My whole schedule got messed up, so it's like my whole everything I do is just kind of goofy and wonky. I do like how both bunks have their own window, by the way. And look at this up here. If I get you all the way up in here, endoscopy style, we have some USB plugs and individual 12-volt lights right there. And I do believe, I'm trying to go slow, don't want to make you motion sick. We have one of those for both of the beds. So that's a nice little find right there. I'm not seeing any kind of sticker that indicates the weight ratings on that. I'm going to guess about 200 pounds or so, though. I was frankly kind of shocked to see a porcelain foot flush stool in there. And the elbow room is excellent on the left or the right side. So this is, I mean, for a small camper, that's a fairly fluffy, friendly bathroom. I was also pleasantly surprised to see just a switch for the lights in the ceiling. Now, this RV, again, has another one of those small, like little circular port vent fans here. And the skylight above the shower is nice, and notice the full shower surround paneling. Now, my hair, well, that's a joke. What I call my hair, what's left of my peach fuzz, was brushing the inside pane of that skylight up top here. So just to give you an idea of how much headroom is, with the shoes I'm wearing today, I'm probably around 6'2"-ish or something like that. But speaking of road mode, let's close her up and let's take a look, shall we? And it's crazy the difference a slide makes in something like this. Anyway, as I suspected, there's no way you're going to be able to open that bed up in travel mode. However, hear me out. If you take out that armrest bolster, you've got sleeping for one on the lower level. But remember, you've got that kind of flat mattress, double thick area up there. I think you could still sleep two adults in the front of this unconventionally, but I think that if you had a long trip and you had to make it work, I feel personally that is a viable travel sleeping option, but that's my 2 cents. What do you folks kind of feel about that? Now, this isn't something that I kind of thought to talk about previously, but as long as we're looking at it, this is an example, kind of like Apex does this. It's a folding Murphy bed, but it allows you to actually maintain the function of that front windshield in the sofa mode of the camper like we're looking at today. And a lot of Murphy beds, when you put the bed away, you lose the front windshield, which always kind of baffles me. I know that the front windshield looks awesome, but when you rarely get to use it, I sort of feel personally like, what's the point? But again, that's just my personal assessment. That doesn't mean it is or is not a good feature. You get the idea. Anyway, short of that though, kitchen, fully accessible. Bunks, bathroom, travel functional. Potty stop, you got it.
So if you watch my previous Palomino Real-Lite video, like if you like this but you don't want bunks, I've got their non-bunkhouse version of this also recorded and published for you. It's called the 186, the RL186, by the way. But I had measured this, and apparently, I don't know how I measured wrong. These are 7.5 foot wide. I said like 6 times in that video. They're 7'4" wide. It's 7'6" wide. Apologies if I got that mistaken. Same kind of width as like an Ember, a Wildwood FSX, a J-Feather Micro. Up front, we got the power tongue jack doing the heavy lifting for us, and once again, the nose cap on this thing with that just very generous application of that kind of like bed liner stone guard on the front here. I just feel like it gives it a good look, and it's going to, like, I think, stay good looking. My only concern with that, because again, I like to share the good with the bad here, is I don't know how well that stuff is going to hold up to heavy sun exposure. So if you live in like serious sun country, that stuff might fade out and chalk a little bit, that spray on bed liner stuff, but it might not. I don't have data on that. That's just a pure theory and estimation. They did a good job giving us the biggest awning there possibly was the capacity to do on here. And notice how those speakers are down low, so that, you know, they're at like head level when you're sitting at a chair or the picnic table. So you're not blowing the neighbors away with your Freedom Rock. It does not have a full front pass-through because the water heater's on the other side, but it does have really smart location for that battery disconnect switch right there. Jumping on the other side of the steps there, we take a look at the 15-inch radials down here. This does come equipped with factory standard TPMS, the exact same system that like Rockwood and I think Montana are using. And again, it's a lesser common feature on a smaller single-axle camper like this, but an enclosed underbelly, although that is becoming more and more common, which I'm glad to see. Part of the reason that they're able to do that, like they have decent holding tank capacities on here. They're not the biggest I've ever seen, but they're also not the smallest. But you notice how that's a triple step stair on the way up there. They do that because this rides on a little bit bigger, taller chassis. And that means that there's more frame rail height that they can bury the holding tanks into, and everything can still fit. Now, it's not as obvious from here. Let me get up close. We're on the shadows. We're on the dark side of the moon over here, as it were, which is appropriate because when we're on the dark side of the moon and we got ourselves a propanus, well, it's a party, brother. So we got a gas grill hookup, and what you're going to see in the big cargo compartment is the grill that hooks onto that bumper mount right there is equipped or included with this. Notice, though, you've got a bumper and a 2-inch receiver hitch on the back where you can put Aunt Edna after she croaks on the family trip, Clark. I tell you, to this day, anytime somebody ever says, man, that's a real beaut, in my head I always hear Clark right after that, and I wink. Is there a more iconic character in the world of camping than Cousin Eddie? And if so, the only other answer I'm personally willing to accept is Robin Williams from the movie RV, which is, despite how over the top it is probably one of the most accurate representations of RVers and the RV lifestyle that I have ever personally witnessed. Now look at this. This is a real standout quality. They put a high gloss skin on this thing. It is shiny and it looks there's something about shiny trailers. Like, one, shiny makes me feel like it's fancier, but two, I don't know, man, when they're all sitting in a line like this, that shiny one somehow, it just glitters a little bit brighter and catches my eye. Now, this floor plan is certainly not unique in the RV industry. They all find a little bit different way to do it, but what I'm going to do is leave you a whole bunch of links in the description where you can check for pricing and availability on these at our Ludington store here where I'm at today, or maybe if we have these at some of our other locations. I can't keep track of what we have every single place, especially with the way that we've been expanding lately. There's probably a Bish's nearer your front door now than when I first started doing these videos for Bish's RV, so make sure you check that out. But also some similar things, maybe a GeoPro, an Ember, maybe something in like a Wolf Pup stick and tin if you're looking for more of a budget option. There's all kinds of cool things out there. Let me know your favorite, and let me know the one thing you would change on this one given the opportunity. So until next time, take care, stay safe, have fun, and happy camping, everyone.